and welcome back to the Creative Juggle Joy podcast. I'm Kaylie and I'm here with my lovely co-host Delores, and this week we're getting cozy, honest, and a little bit emotional as we reflect on what it really means to be a mother or caregiver and a creative business owner.
With Mother's Day just around the corner here in North America, we wanted to open up a conversation that goes beyond flowers and brunch. We're talking about what it's really like to be a woman building a creative life while holding space for others, and how flippin' incredible that really is.
Yes, definitely.
I have to ask you, Kaylie, how's life looking with you and your little one and all of your creative work? I know he has been sick and I'm glad he's better, but what's it been like? What's been pulling your focus or surprising you? You've really told me a couple of really cute stories about him. So,
I think that's kind of the big thing, isn't it? Like, he's in this phase of toddlerhood. he's turning 3 in July, so everything's still new. Things, he still learns new things. So when he does learn things, it's like, oh, yay! Just learn a new thing. And then sometimes it's like, oh no, what's he doing now? So you have these moments where it's kind of, sometimes it's even bittersweet because you just know it's the next lead up to something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary, like how fast he's growing. And he does these really cute things now and again, and then the next moment he's throwing a complete fit over what you're like, what? Where did it come from? What? Like, why? What's wrong? You were fine a minute ago. And then he's throwing and kicking and pulling my hair. Yeah, he was biting my finger today. Like, that was his new thing. And I was like, no, that's not happening. Get off. It was just random. He wasn't even in a tantrum. It was literally he was just faffing about by me. And he just kind of put his mouth over my finger. It's like, what are you doing? There's just random things. He can be very, very cute, and then he can like turn into the devil in like a minute.
The joys of the twos and the threes.
And it makes like work so challenging.
Yeah. Okay,
Some days I can go hours where he won't bother me. Like, he'll just sit and watch TV or play with his toys, or he'll find something to do, and he won't bother me that much. And then other days, it's constant. Every 2 minutes, he wants my attention, and I just can't do anything. Or he won't even let me open my laptop. Or I'll be in the middle of an email, sometimes I'm in the middle of creating your email or your newsletter, and suddenly he's over, and he's like tapping my keys, and I'm like, get off! Go away! Go carry on watching PJ Masks or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's challenging, and nobody tells you when you first start a business that when you're a mother, it's even harder.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And you were at home with him. Like, it's not like you're going out and working somewhere. He's there. So you got to make it work.
It can be very challenging. And, on normal days or normal weeks, I can get some stuff done, especially when he goes to bed at night. I've got a few hours at like 4, 5 at most. I can sit and work. Yeah, it means I'm up late some nights, but it's just what I've got to do to be able to actually get the work done, especially if I've got deadlines. And the reality is right now is a lot of my deadlines have either moved or not even been re-added. I've literally just said to my email list not that long ago, I'll have to record my live workshop that I was supposed to do a month ago because I just haven't got the time right now. I don't know with Aston, because him and obviously my partner had the norovirus stomach bug it was over a week when I calculated it up. And I was in like mum, caregiver, survival mode for 8 days.
It's not funny, but it's funny. But it's not funny.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not funny when your toddler's throwing up in the middle of the night and you're having to
No.
change their
Oh,
bedding and their pajamas and everything and then get them back to bed and then have to do it all over again the next day. It's
yeah.
exhausting. And yeah, the smell of sick. Yeah, I
I
can't,
don't
I
know how
can't.
you
I'm
do
not very good at dealing with sick as it was before having my son. And then having to deal with him being sick for like almost 8 days straight was, yeah, it was horrible. And then my partner got it as well. Yeah, had to deal with him being sick.
Oh my gosh.
Which is not something that he does. Like, he does not, from the whole time that we've been together, sick was never a thing that he would get. And whenever he's been ill or he's been in pain or anything like that, he will still go to work. But
Mhm.
that time he had the norovirus a couple of weeks ago, it floored him. He had to have a few days off work because he could not physically go in. He was so weak from being sick all the time, and yeah, it was really difficult, and it was difficult seeing him that way as well.
Of course. Of course.
And yeah, it was it was difficult because obviously I've still got course to finish creating. I've got students who are waiting on modules right now, and yeah, that makes the pressure even harder.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I get
so
it.
it's just one of them things I have to just deal with as it comes, and you can't prepare for these things when it does happen.
Yeah.
You can just kind of get on with it and see where you stand after when it blows over.
Yeah.
And how about you? What's been shifting you in your creative rhythm lately, especially in this stage of being a grandmother and running your teaching business?
That's honestly a joy. Like I don't have Bowden all day long. He comes here for the half hour before the bus arrives, and then at the end of the day, he comes for half an hour. So it's wonderful. He's so sweet and good at this point, and easy. He's beyond needing that round the clock watching. He's very easily entertained, and most of the time, the time goes so quickly. It's really been wonderful, and we're really enjoying just his company and joking with him. He's got a real sense of humor, and he's wonderful with my mom. There's days that he'll come over here, drop off his backpack, and say, "I have to go spend time with great grandma." And he'll run over
Oh,
there. And yeah, and today when he left, he actually went over and knocked on the door and gave her a hug. So,
no.
he's just a little sweetheart right now. I'm really loving this age. It's actually been no problem to work around in that way, so that's been going good. What has been shifting my creative rhythm, like obviously in the last 6 weeks, was coming back from Florida, and just the
Yeah.
whole this time that we sold our home there. So we've been going to the same area and been part of that same neighborhood for 6 or 7 years. And we really loved our place. And that whole process did take a lot of my attention and stress, and just that,
It's bittersweet,
um,
wasn't it, for you?
very bittersweet. I mean, the timing was good in the sense that it's a good time for Canadians to not be going to the US,
Mm.
without getting into deep politics. And we have never had any problems. I love all of the American people that I know, and we had so many of them apologizing to us, or, really being retrospective about their own situations. So, it just was a hard time to go through and run a business at the same time. So
Yeah.
there was that, and I've been so lucky with my business that it has come at the time in my life when I can really spend a lot of time on it,
Yeah.
because my kids have grown up and they're on their own, and they're all gainfully employed. They're all happy right now, married, and, kids. Both of the two older daughters that live close to me have families and children and a really great supportive partner. My daughter in Winnipeg has 5 cats. So her significant other are raising their cats just beautifully. So everybody's happy. Everybody's happy around me. My mom is happy to be here, and she's learned and has created a life for herself here. She's busy. She has places to go and
I know she has more of a social life than I do.
More than me too. More than me. I can't even believe it sometimes. So I have 2 cousins who live near me who both have their parents in seniors' homes out in the country where mom and dad lived.
Yeah.
So it's been wonderful that both of them being retired, they're both older than me, but, old, not too old to drive, but old enough that their lives are also freed up at this point. And so they frequently go out, and that's 2 different towns, and mom has relative sisters or old neighbors or whatever, all in these same seniors homes. So when she goes, she's like a party girl. Like, I mean, she can visit with 6 people. It was like going to the funeral with her the other day. She was busy as a bee going around and talking to all the people she hadn't seen for, sometimes up to 2 years or 3 years, because they've been now moved back here for 3 years. And, at first it was hard for her. And when my dad passed, of course, she had to change her life quite a bit. But I so appreciate having my mother here,
Yeah.
To me, it's like such a gift that my mom literally lives right next to me. So on this corner in our little town, and our little town is only 40 or 50 houses, there are no stores, there are no restaurants, nothing. It's just people. And on this corner are 3 moms. My mom, me as a mom, and then my daughter across the street as a mom. So Mother's Day is a very important day for us. And the other thing is, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes my birthday ends up being on Mother's Day.
That's great.
It is, because it's, if it's the second Sunday, this year it doesn't happen to be on Mother's Day, but because my birthday is right near Mother's Day, like 3 days before in this case, all of my kids come to visit. So mom and I get to have that special day in May when we can all celebrate being mothers. And, it's just, could I be any luckier to have that?
No, that's lovely, that is.
It is. That's, and it's lovely. May. It's May, so we could send all the kids outside to play.
Yeah, it's nice then. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about my birthday sometimes, is because I'm in November. It's freaking cold.
Oh, no.
So cold. Like, I've had my birthday in the snow before now. It's like, that was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, last year. I had me and Aston on my birthday. It was a Tuesday, so it wasn't like it was, a weekend. So Reese was away, wasn't he? Yeah, he was away on training. So he wasn't even there for my birthday last year. And me and Aston went out in our front garden and built a snowman on my birthday.
Oh,
that's what we did last year.
Well, we can't build a snowman, although we did have snow last week. And it's been known to happen that we get snow in May. So even up to the 3rd week of May, we can't put out our flowers or anything like that. And one of the Mother's Day gifts that I get every year, it's flowers, but I always insist that they give me flowers I can plant. Not just a bouquet of flowers. So I really look forward to that. And I have several plants that I bring into the house and winter them because they were Mother's Day gifts.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that yet because obviously Aston's still a kid. So, well, I got because obviously Mother's Day in the UK is past. That was in March for us. So I had a big card, which has basically got, I think they're supposed to be flowers that he's painted himself with, I'm assuming his fingers, at playgroup.
Aw.
So I got a Mother's Day card from him from playgroup. Obviously, the playgroup staff have wrote in inside the card from him, and I got, what was it? A little ornament. It was like it's a flower shaped ornament that he's obviously pressed little. I don't know. They're not flowers. I think they're just little natural pieces that you find outside that he's stuck to it with glue. So yeah, so I've got a little ornament and I've got a card from him for this year from playgroup. So that's really cute. So that was my kind of like my first gifts from him that he's kind of made. So that was nice. That was more special than the Mother's Day gifts I got from Reese from Aston. Because it's kind of one of those kind of typical man, I forgot, I'll get it on the day kind of situation, or the day or the night before situation. I'm sure he was at training again and he came back up and he went to the supermarket, but he got me a frying pan and a plant pot with, I think it was gnomes and mushrooms or something on it. So yeah, I haven't used them yet. Mainly because I've got a frying pan that I do use, and it's still a non-stick kind of thing. So I kind of use that. So I'll keep that one back. And then the plant pot, I don't have any plants right now because I'm trying not to focus on gardening because we're renting until we buy a house, and I don't want to like put a load of plants in. Then have to go. So yeah, the plant pot is just kind of sitting on our big cupboard that we've got at the moment, empty. So, but those are my Mother's Day gifts from Aston from Reese. So yeah, he tried. It's more special because Aston obviously made a couple of things, and I didn't expect anything obviously this year because he's still, he's a toddler. He doesn't understand the day. He only understands his birthday because he gets a load of gifts, and obviously everybody wishes his happy birthday and he gets a cake. That's the only reason he understands what that day is. But yeah, Mother's Day, I think, can bring up quite a lot of feelings for people, obviously, especially if you may have lost your mum, or, or even a mum who's lost her children, and it's a horrible, horrible thing to think about. But there's obviously a lot of people out there who have gone through that, and Mother's Day is a difficult day for them. And I like to reflect on the fact that some people don't get to celebrate Mother's Day as well. Yeah. It's difficult because I've got a friend from school. She lost her mum very young, and then not that recently, I don't think, or she lost her father as well. And so she's on her own, basically. She has her own family. She's got her own kid now and her own partner. And I think about her a lot because, she doesn't have that family there anymore. And she's my age. I'm only 31. And to not have your parents is difficult. Like I can't even imagine how difficult that is. And being independent and having to do everything yourself. At least I have, although my mum's an hour's drive away, I do still see her now and again, and if I need her I can at least ring her up.
Of course.
I rang her up not that long ago, literally because I was stuck on a crossword. I was like on the last word, and it was on our favourite thing, Harry Potter. And it was bugging me like mad because it was just such an obscure question, and I was like, I know it but I can't think of it, and I was like, I have to ring my mum. I'm not Googling it, I have to ring my mum because my mum will know. And we sat there for about 5 minutes, and then eventually my mum gave me the answer, and I was like, yes, perfect. That's what it was.
Mums are amazing.
So it's obviously, I know, yes, some mums are not the best, and I think that is also another reflection that some people need to remember is sometimes people are born with a mum who isn't the best. There's a few that I know unfortunately, from friends who had to grow up kind of fairly quickly because their mum was not really there for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's something to kind of think about that I'm very grateful for, is having my
Yeah.
mum. And I
Same
was very
here.
close to my mum growing up. Like, we're quite very similar. We look like each other as well. Like, I do look like my mum.
Oh, neat.
And so does my brother, my middle brother. He looks like my mum as well. So we kind of got my mum for the both of us. And then my sister and my youngest brother kind of look like more like my stepdad. I'm the eldest, and I'm the only one who hasn't got the same dad as my three siblings. So I grew up with my stepdad, who, it was amazing. You know, he brought us all up, kind of the same, although he was less disciplined with my three siblings, I suppose, in a way. And yeah, he kind of gave in to them a lot more, which made them little buggers. Growing up, they were a pain in the backside, to
Oh, I
say the
bet.
least. It was, yeah. How that growing up with siblings can be stressful, and
Oh, yeah.
it's lovely having, you know, siblings that you think to play with and things, but it doesn't always work out that way. We fought a lot.
It's a love-hate thing, I think, with your siblings. And I mean, there were four of us, and we're all, like, my sister is 18 months older than me. The one that's younger than me is 18 months younger. And, so the four of us were born within a 5-year period.
Wow.
So you can imagine my poor mom, who started, she had all of her kids by the age of 25.
My God.
Before, like, I had my first kid at the age of 25. So imagine, what it was like. So definitely, I totally get it when you're talking about siblings, because it's gone in every direction imaginable. But I love my sisters right now. Like, just wish I could see them more often, spend more time with them. And they're all such great moms, and they've just done such a great job of motherhood in general. And obviously that comes from having had a good mom.
Yeah.
So we're really lucky, and
Yeah.
I do appreciate that very much. And I understand what your reflection about that, having been in the school system for 30 years. I definitely
you've seen a
saw
lot. Yeah.
range, and how hard it was for kids who didn't have moms who were really present in their lives. So I definitely am thankful. And, Mother's Day, that's the great thing about Mother's Day. It's a day that you can think about that and appreciate it, and think about people who haven't had that experience, and think about supporting them, any way that you can, if they're in your lives.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know sometimes I'm a little bit envious of my sister, my younger sister, because she's got my mum literally down the road, and like, I'm an hour's away, and my mum doesn't drive, I don't drive, so it does make it hard, and it means I don't have the support here when I moved away. Obviously, I didn't think that when I moved to a different town, which is now called a city. I didn't think that. I was coming here for the job opportunity and the housing situation. And yeah, and then you don't think, oh, when I have a kid,
Exactly.
you're basically on your own.
Mm-hmm.
When your partner does night shifts, it's more difficult. Obviously, we don't have a very conventional living situation, and it can be very confusing. It can be very confusing, especially for Aston, because he's like, Daddy in bed. Like, in the day, yes.
Yeah.
And then you've got his dad coming in and going up with his tea instead of breakfast. So that's a bit confusing for Aston.
I bet.
So, yeah. And then when obviously Reese gets up in the late afternoon, so like it'll be about 5:30, he's getting up and having his breakfast at 5:30 in the afternoon, near enough to evening, and going off to work. So Aston, although he's kind of no different, but it's still a bit
Mhm.
confusing because obviously you're trying to teach him breakfast is in the morning,
Yes.
but his dad does a completely different thing. So yeah, it's got its challenges. Yeah, it's definitely got its challenges, especially not having my mum here, but then my sister does. So yeah, I'm a little bit envious of my sister sometimes that she has my mum, but then I also feel a little bit sorry for my mum because she's on beck and call.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, because my
It's
sister, my niece, my eldest niece, and then my nephew, she has the two kids, and then my sister's having her third,
wow.
which she'll be due this month. It's May now, so this month. So she's due, and they've just bought their house and just got the keys for it. So there, she's trying to move into a new house and get that sorted, whilst due
Gosh.
with Athena,
Oh my
because
God.
my sister loves Greek mythology, so she's named her Athena.
Hmm.
So that's a new thing happening in our lives right now. So my mum, and there's some pregnancy stuff that's going on right now with my sister. My niece is not moving so much, so my sister's having to go in for daily monitoring. So
Oh
my
God.
mum has her other two kids pretty much every day, all day, for the week just gone. So until my niece is born, my mum's going to have hands full.
Wow.
And
Well,
yeah, so it's difficult. My mum's got, she's not long found out she's got osteoarthritis in both shoulders. So
oh,
she's in a lot of pain at the moment. And so I do feel for her. And yeah, she's probably glad that I'm not so near with Aston and going, can you go and look after Aston for a
adding
bit?
to that, that definitely dispels that myth of balance.
Oh, yes, it does. Like the myth of balance, like you hear it all the time. You just have to find the right balance. But what the heck does that even mean? Like when you're up all night with a toddler or caring for someone else, or you
Oh,
have chronic illness like I do, I no, there is no balance. You just have to kind of find like a blending on what works for you and your life and your season because things change.
yeah, exactly. I used to think that it meant giving everything equal time. So if I'm working 8 hours, then the next 8 hours I have to do whatever. But I see it like now in retrospect, I'm definitely in a different season in my life, and I see it more like a flow. And some days I'm all in with the family. I mean, we have an event, it's here because we're the central, and we have the biggest place and it's the least difficult. And other days I can just do art all day. So it's seasonal, like my life has that kind of balance now, if you can call it balance, more like a
Yeah.
flow. Like, yeah, let's just call it flow.
Yeah, it's flow. Like, who was it? I think it was the product boss. The product boss. I think that's their brand. I remember her saying not long ago, and I really got it, where she said, "Your life is just blended. You have to just blend. There's no such thing as balance as BS. You
Yeah,
literally you just have to find a blending for each day, what works for you, and just kind of go with that." So,
yeah.
did the idea of balance ever change for you when your kids grew up? And like, obviously, when you have kids and they're at home, it's so much difficult. But then it obviously changes. So, do you think there's more freedom in this stage that you're in now, or just different kinds of juggling?
I'd say different kinds of juggling, because I've taken it upon myself to start a membership and start a school.
Yeah,
Even though I did teach for 30 years, it's definitely different now that I'm teaching things I'm really interested in and excited to share, so I'm always kind of trying to think of new ideas. And so I'm not juggling with kids, but I'm juggling my time so that I can run a business, but also still continue to be creative. And, for me, doing artwork has to be in there because obviously my whole school rotates around my creativity and projects and doing artwork that I can then use as classes to inspire other people. And, that all kind of ties into my art licensing and creating products for sale. And so it's still juggling, like one way or another. It still seems like it's juggling.
Yeah, we never have enough time in the day, no matter what season of life you're in.
What about you? Like, how do you manage that? Like around, like between work and motherhood, it sounds like it can be pretty crazy. And are there days you just wish that I don't know, that you did one better than the other? Like, how does it feel? Like the actual feeling for you?
It's like every day's a different one. Yeah, we have our routine, but then that can change if one of us is sick, or he has a week, or like not long ago with the Easter holidays, he was off for 2 weeks from playgroup, but the week before that he was ill, so he wasn't even in there, so he's been off pretty much for 3 weeks. So that has been challenging and driving me up the frigging wall, which meant I couldn't do my recording or my editing. I thought I could get my editing out the way from the recorded lessons I already had sitting on my computer that I need to upload. But it's so difficult to try and edit with a toddler constantly asking you to change the channel over every 2 minutes.
Or whatever.
So, yeah, managing expectations can be difficult as a mum and a business owner when you've got your toddler at home. It's going to change a bit more once he's actually at full-time education. Then I can actually do a bit more and hopefully stick to deadlines when I need to. But yeah, it's managing.
For you, like, it's different.
Possibly, he's possibly going to start in September. It depends if I get the funding. So I have to apply for funding, and if he gets the funding, then he will be going 30 hours a week, I think it is.
Ooh,
so hopefully, hopefully I qualify and he goes for 30 hours, and then I can finally get some kind of thing in place that I can stick to. But yeah, at the moment, it's trying to get done whenever I can get done. If I can get a recording session done, I will do that, even if it means I've got to postpone a bit of editing just to make sure I've got some more recording batched ready. So I have 3 more modules left to actually record for my course.
I'm amazed at what you can get done. It's great, and batching definitely helps.
Yeah, so that's what that's helped me with managing my expectations. If I can get batching done, if I can, I will get it done. There has been points where I've not been able to get it done the night before, and I think, oh, maybe I can get it done in the morning, and then Aston wakes up halfway through a recording, and it's like, oh, child, couldn't you've slept for another half an hour?
I know. I hear you.
But yeah, and then there's days where you feel like you've done neither well. There's some days where I feel like it's gone well. Some days it just has not gone to plan at all. And it just happens. Sometimes I feel like I've had my best ideas mid-chaos. This year has been a never-ending supply of ideas, even though I've literally just gone through just so many challenges since the start of this year, and we're in the second half now. And it's just like, what? Where did the time go? But also my worst self-doubt, whilst Aston and Reese had been so ill with this norovirus, the self-doubt of whether I can actually get through what I need to get through before we go on holiday has just been crazy. My mindset has not been great, even though I have been trying to do mindset work whenever I can. I've got my Colour by Number app that I've been using, because whenever I get a moment to just sit and not have to think about anything, I just put my app on and I'll just sit and colour, because that's the only thing that gives me. But then sometimes Aston will come over and he'll try and play with it, and I'm just like, go away. This is my time.
That way.
Yeah, for 5 minutes I might get some time, because that's the thing, it times you, but then obviously I have to put my phone down. Yes. And it's like, well, actually, that's telling me it took me an hour and 40 minutes to do a picture, and I'm like, it really didn't. but it's just
Right.
because I've had to keep putting it down. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's chaos at the minute, but that's just, yeah, being a mother has fueled my creativity sometimes, and then yeah, and then sometimes I can be blocked by it. Sometimes it feels like it steals your energy,
Yeah.
and it's what people don't tell you. People definitely do not tell you how much it actually changes the dynamics of your life.
Yeah.
You've got this little human being that relies on you, depends on you to be everything for them.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse is because obviously I've been here as a constant for Aston. He will not let anybody else do anything for him, which makes it even harder for me. So if I need to, I can't do everything for him 24/7, but he expects it. Like, there was a point where if he wanted a drink out of his bottle, he would have me hold it for him, even when he could, if in theory he could actually do it himself. But he wouldn't let anybody else do it. He wouldn't even let his dad do it sometimes. And he would come to the gate if I'm in the middle of doing washing up or middle of making dinner, and he'd want me to hold his bottle for him so he could have a drink. So yeah, it's
Challenge.
motherhood. It's challenging, and especially if you're doing a lot of it on your own as well, it does not help.
Yeah.
Has being the mother fueled your creativity? And does it feel like it steals your energy?
Both, I think. It's given me stories, and meaning and tenderness. But also, I just the other day was going through the drawers here trying to I was looking for a specific piece of artwork that I had actually scanned, and it was a watercolor, and I'm trying to tie it into this class that I'm doing. And I was looking through this drawer for it, and I realized I have like so many unfinished paintings.
Yeah.
And I just, I remember kind of working on them. I kind of remember that time. And then I never got back to it. Just never got back to it.
Yeah, I've got so many unfinished projects on
Yeah.
Canva. On Canva, everywhere else. I have so many Word documents that I have started
Yeah.
and yeah, just never finished or never did anything with. I have so many unfinished products that I could have sold. Um, was there a season you felt like your creativity had to go on pause, and what brought it back if it did?
Yeah. There's definitely been times like that. When it was funny when I was first with Terry that, even though he knew I was an artist and he knew that I sold my art, that we did craft sales and that, he never actually had seen me doing any artwork. And which, I mean, it seems so weird, right? Like you're with
Yeah.
somebody, and I remember that I had, during the week when he wasn't here, I had pulled out some artwork and an art journal that I was working on, which is probably similar to you coloring in your app. It was the thing that I had to do to just center myself.
Yeah.
And I had kind of put that on hold because, my life had changed. Milan was at a certain age where we had so many activities and things that I just didn't have time for art. And I remember him coming on the weekend, and here I had a bunch of art supplies out, and I was actually doing artwork, and it was almost like he was surprised. It was like, you've never seen me do this, have you? Like, have you ever actually even seen my artwork? And so I kind of, showed him a few of the pieces I had been working on in my journal. And it was really weird because never had I gone that long without actually having done actual artwork. You know what I mean? Like natural media and all. I was just doing everything digitally, and all he saw
Yeah.
was me working on my computer. So that was a very interesting kind of a pause. And all it took was that once of taking it out, and then it was back in my life. And then I was doing it constantly again.
That's great. That. Um,
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because obviously me and Reese, we hadn't long known each other actually before I fell pregnant with Aston. So before that, the only creative thing you'd probably seen me do is actually make my candles because I was still doing my business when we met. And yeah, I hadn't actually done any painting or anything, which I'd done previously. Like, he'd seen a load of my work from like my college years and school, and all, like, I've got tons of notebooks and sketchbooks and everything. I've even got like a massive folder with all my college work in it, and he's seen them, but he'd never actually seen me paint or anything like that. And then when we were on holiday, I bought art supplies because I wanted to get back into it again. And yeah, that was the first time he'd seen me do any watercolor or anything that I used to like doing.
That's
But
so cool.
it didn't last very long because Aston then wasn't,
Yeah.
Being occupied, and he come running in and stuck his finger straight in my black paint. And I was like, no, this is what I was trying to avoid. But yes, it's
let me ask you something then. What part of motherhood inspires your work now? And what out of that influences you to choose to do specific things with your audience? You know what I mean?
Yes. I think a lot, obviously, my business, after my maternity ended, that's why I had to change the way I did things. And that's how I ended up meeting you and working for you. And it was all centered around, I was needing to find something that I could work around with Aston. I needed something that I could work for me. I couldn't go back to work because it just wasn't going to work for us as a couple. And then new as parents. So a lot of my creative work, I'm glad I kind of went more digital because I can still create in Canva and Affinity Designer, and before that was Photoshop. I can still do my creativity. I don't have to get paints out and then Aston making a mess everywhere. So yeah, that's kind of my motherhood has kind of forced me to change the way I do things. I would love to do my art and sell my art again. But it's just in the season, where I'm at now, it's just not practical with Aston. Like, we don't have the space either for me to be doing that. Like, our spare bedroom is full of my old art stuff, which is not the best because obviously it's from college and mostly experimentation. It wasn't for anybody in particular. So it wouldn't work as marketable work. It's just seeing where we go, and obviously I can be creative with my resources, and I probably spend far too much time on my work slides for courses and workshops because I like to make them pretty and magical looking because obviously that's just who I am. And motherhood kind of comes into it because motherhood's constant for me at the moment with Aston being here. So asking for help used to feel like a failure. Sometimes I still struggle with that. Now, sometimes it feels like I have to do it for survival as well. What's your relationship with support like now, Delores?
I used to feel like I had to do everything myself to be good. You know what I mean? Like a good mom, a good artist, a good teacher. And what I have really learned now that I have my membership and, just the circle of people that I'm involved with through coaching or whatever, I realize that for me, community is definitely part of creativity.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely is. That's one thing I kind of didn't have when I first had Aston. Obviously, my family are not living here. Reese's family is a drive away. And I didn't have, my friends don't live here anymore. Like, they moved away and had their own families. So support was very much lacking, and it's been very, very difficult. And sometimes it just brings me to tears because I'm just sat here sometimes. I wish I could I know I can phone up somebody, but it's not the same as speaking in person with someone and sit in and have a conversation. But that's why I was so glad to have somebody reach out to me who wanted to actually chat and talk about business and talk about motherhood and stuff. And we kind of, she built like a Facebook group, and then we started doing local meetings like once a month. They don't always happen once a month because we're all pretty much mothers or grandmothers. It kind of sometimes moves, especially if it's like around school season and things. But that helped a lot with like the community and support and just speaking to people that get it. That is crucial sometimes to really be resilient in your business, is having that support there. Definitely.
Yeah.
As a mum, it's so important because especially when you work from home, you don't have anyone here. You know, you're on your own. Yes, you might have a partner at home sometimes, but do they really understand what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
My partner doesn't at all. So what do you wish someone had told you in the thick of raising your kids and trying to make art at the same time?
Oh, I don't know. I guess when I was in the middle of it, like with my older two, I just didn't get a chance. There was no possibility. It was impossible to do just at that point in my life. But once they got older, and Milan was a few years later, like there's an 8-year age difference. And I found that I was actually able to have her occupied in the same space as I was, and I could be doing my thing and she could be doing her thing. And I really wish somebody had, at the earlier time in my life with my kid, the older kids, had just said to me, try to make art anyways. Like, just try, even if it was to get them in some kind of activity, or when they went out to play with friends, that instead of going and doing 6 loads of laundry and washing up something that I'd been meaning to get to, why didn't I just take the time? I wish somebody had said to me, just take the time to relax and do some art. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying to everyone. If you are at that point in your life right now, at least once in a while, allow yourself that.
Yeah. I think sometimes I get so caught up in like asses at playgroup. Oh, I can do work.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to catch up. I need to do work. Yeah, sometimes I forget that I could use that time, a bit of that time, to actually sit and do some creativity and artwork, like physical artwork. I do need to do that. But I think I've got it in my head that I need to hold out until he goes to school. No, that's not great.
Well,
but yeah,
if that's what it takes, I mean, you're doing what you can, so don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's something that we just have to learn to let go of all of that stuff, all that guilt and comparison, and that idea of perfection. I really think we just need to let go of that.
Yeah. And before recording this, I did reach out to some community that I'm in, and some of them did share some feedback about motherhood and their businesses. There was a lady called Carol. She said that she couldn't have done her business without her mum and the support of her mother. And she wanted to acknowledge that her mum was everything. She's got a son who has, I think he's on autistic spectrum, she said. And without the help of her mum, wouldn't have been able to do it. And she is very grateful and thankful for having her mum. And she says she's blessed. And I have another lady who's actually a student of Dolores's, who says balancing work and being a mother is challenging, but many manage it. It's important to not ignore the nurturing side of motherhood. And she said, I tried to spend quality time with my family, making memories together. Children grow up so fast. It feels like yesterday I brought my son home from the hospital, filled with joy and worry. Now he is 48 years old, and I often think about how quickly the years have passed. Time can slip away from us in the busyness of life. No matter how busy I am with work or other activities, my family is my top priority and the source of my happiness. Their love and presence truly matters to me. Unfortunately, no guide tells us the perfect way to balance everything.
Oh, that's so sweet. Like almost chokes me up, honestly, hearing that. That's lovely.
Yeah. And it kind of goes in hand with a student of mine who actually emailed me when I had a couple of my first deadline misses, and a couple of them was because Aston just I could not do it. And Aston had actually nap trapped me when I was supposed to finish in editing the last lesson for the module, and I couldn't get it up in time, so I sent the email out. And she emailed me back, and she's actually a student of yours as well, and
nice.
Sherry. And she emailed me and was telling me about her son, because she's in her 70s, and her son she's only got the one, and he moved away, obviously, and how it can be difficult for, knowing the time has flown by. And she said that she feels guilty and regrets when she had to obviously work and couldn't play with him, and that I should love the time that I do get to spend with him while I do have the time with him. And that made me cry. And she gave, what was it? Cats in the Cradle, that song. She was on about reflecting with that song. And she says her and her son and her husband, that's their song, because it reminds them of how fast time goes and that you need to spend each moment with each other. And, I say it now and again where I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm saying to Aston, I'm busy, I'm sorry, but I can't do that right now. That sometimes it is literally because I'm washing up and he wants me to do something. I'm like, well, can you give me a minute? And then sometimes, you feel guilty then. And it can be difficult. Definitely difficult.
Yes, there's always something, isn't there? But I think, if we look back in time, so many other women just like us have struggled and have had to make things work with whatever situation that they're in. And I mean, we all know people like that. We all have heard of people like that. We all have people in our communities like that. We, for Mother's Day, I think, can just sit and reflect on that, and also just think about how great it is to be a woman and how lucky we are that we can have these feelings, and we have our families and we have our children, and hard as it is at times, we're lucky to be in this position. And honestly, I'll just ask you, if you could go back and speak to, the early motherhood Kaylie, the one that was still making candles with the swollen ankles and the big dreams, what would you tell her?
Find the joy when you can. The little things, they go so fast. I still remember his first steps, and I'm sad that his dad didn't get to see his first steps. He missed him 5 minutes. Literally, he was just on his way back, and he missed him for five minutes before, and he would have seen Aston take his first steps. And I'm humble and grateful that I got to see it, and obviously I recorded it. So I did record it, and I did make Reese watch it.
Obviously.
So I think early motherhood, when I first started, obviously with Aston, those days were horrible. But there was so much joy in it as well, even with 2 hours sleep most nights. Yeah. And you just, I'd say don't forget your dreams. Keep going. You are resilient. I am still here. I'm still going. And, it's just trying to keep that dream alive, that goal in mind that I have, that I will get to.
You will get there.
And if you could leave a little message for your younger self, Delores, the one painting while the kids were in bed, or what would you say?
I think I would say the same thing. I mean, just take a minute and appreciate it. And, even I remember when they were first going off to school. So this is something you're going to be experiencing very soon. But I can remember clearing out the dresser, to put their sort of school clothes, special school clothes into, to have it all organized. And I can remember pulling out, little tiny t-shirts, and just that dagger in your heart, thinking, oh my gosh, that was like just months ago. And I just wanted to, like, if I could leave a message for myself, it would be to just appreciate every single stage, because when it's gone, it's gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I miss the days where he would nap.
Yeah, I know.
Where he would nap in the day. Like now and again he might do if he's really knackered out, but it's not that often anymore. Like very rare. But yeah, like when I first took him to playgroup, obviously he didn't like being dropped off. It wasn't up until the last time that we took him before the holidays, he would cry like every time I dropped him off. Like he would cry, and it breaks my heart leaving him when he's crying like that for me. Oh, it's so horrible. It chokes me up now thinking about it. But then when I've taken him back, like we took him back on Monday together, and he's just straight in. Nothing, no fear, nothing, just straight in. And I was like, what? What happened? I was like, bye then.
See ya.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, yeah, it was a bit of a weird feeling.
Oh, but, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm living in the neighborhood where I raised my children, and now, like, I'm going to get choked up talking about this, but I see my grandson running in the yard, and I think about my kids.
Yeah.
Okay, deep breath. But it's hard, It's hard, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's generations, like, you grow, and they have to grow up and they have to leave. And like, I sit here sometimes and I cry because I'm like, one day he's going to leave me.
Of course.
And he's going to have his own family. And then that fear sets in, and I'm like, oh my God, what if he moves country and I never see him? And I'm like, he's not even 3 yet. Not even 3 yet. And yeah, I have that fear.
Yeah. Of course we do. And like it thank God for me, has come full circle to where my mom is here. Yeah. I'm here. My daughter is here. My grandson is here. And, honestly, looking back, it would be just appreciate all of it, because even when you're feeling so exhausted, or when you're so frustrated because you can't get things done, and you've got so many dreams and plans and everything seems to be taking forever, let's be a good model for the next generation of creative women and just go with the flow. Just go with the flow and stop being hard on yourself.
Yeah, because society doesn't help.
Yeah. Give yourself grace.
Yeah. Yes, give yourself grace. Society puts expectations on us, and sometimes we don't help ourselves because we do the same to our own selves. And we need to be patient with ourselves. And, you are powerful, and you are full of creativity. And just know that you are loved by somebody. And you will find, if you haven't got support, you will find support. Just look and you will find it. Yeah. And we'd love to hear from you. What has your motherhood taught you about creativity, patience, or power, or anything else? Tag us in your reflections on Instagram at the Creative Juggle Joy podcast, or even tag us. Mine is Spellweaver Digital Solutions, and Delores is Delores Art Canada.
Yes. This Mother's Day, we honor all of the creative women out there. I honor you, Kaylie. You're raising your little man, and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of my girls, and I'm proud of myself. So let's just honor ourselves.
Proud of both of us, because we have come a long way since we started together as well.
So keep creating, keep juggling, and most importantly, keep finding joy in the process.